Hello, Brother Munro here once again with another Munro Design Yards showcase where I try to build reference designs for those who are new to the game and also challenge myself to build balanced ships at a sensible budget. Today it is the battle cruiser. Now I'm actually considering doing two videos for this because there's two ways you can build a battle cruiser. You can build them as a large cruiser, or you can build them as an actual battle cruiser with battleship guns. I'm going to go for the large cruiser today. I'll see how she does, and then I'll so this is the MVY large cruiser Mark 1. So this is the large cruiser concept, aka a cruiser killer. And for this, I am going to go with 12-inch guns, and I'm going to go with a classic ABX setup. Very similar to the heavy cruiser that I did before, it's just bigger. In fact, it's going to have the exact same funnel layout, weird and disgusting though it is. Might even have exactly the same secondary 6-inch secondaries. No, they don't fit. Not a 5s. So yeah, we're going to have almost exactly the same secondary armament. 4s and 2s. So secondary armament is exactly the same as the heavy cruiser. We're just running with these much bigger 12-inch guns. In terms of budget, I'm not 100% sure actually. How I'm going to go in terms of budget. We will have to see how much the ship ends up costing. But I'd like, because it is a large cruiser, I'd like to keep it under 30 million. Not 30 million, $50 million. We'll see. Again, we're going to go for maneuverability because I am seeing this as an upgunned heavy cruiser, so it will be very similar to the heavy cruiser build. We're going to go for the exact same propellant set, loadout, tube powder, super heavy shells. Those 4-inch guns did prove effective against enemy heavy cruisers, so last time, so I'm pretty happy with those. 12-inch gun with a super heavy tube powder shell. We'll go through. So typical battleship armor is 12 inches, doubled, so 24 inches effective, which means at 10,000 meters we can actually put the hurt on your average enemy capital ship, which is very nice. We're going to go with the radar. We're going to go with the RDF because these would definitely be solo operators or in pairs, convoy raiding and things like that. Potentially carrier escort duty, I suppose. So this is a very similar setup to before. However, because this is a bigger ship, I definitely want maximum bulkheads, triple bottom hull, and the anti-torp 3. Okay, so we definitely want just a little bit more anti-torpedo protection than we had before. So this has got a triple bottom hull rather than a double. What that does is it reduces torpedo damage and flooding damage, but it also increases your resistance, which is a damage reduction buff. Potentially it might be better to go for an anti-torpedo 4 and a double. So that puts me up to 31,874. So yeah, there's a few hundred ton. This is a little bit more weight effective, and triple bottom hulls also have the advantage that they give you resistance against shellfire as well as torpedoes. So that's why I prefer going for the hull over the anti-torpedo belts. In terms of armor, we definitely want at least as much as our heavy cruiser, which is where things might get tricky because large cruisers like this tend not to want to have lots and lots and lots of armor. I think that was the armor scheme that I used for the heavy cruiser. See, we're slightly overweight, so might have to go down to the double bottom hull anyway. So it has the exact same torpedo protection as the heavy cruiser, did. So we will have to be careful of torpedoes. Very, very careful indeed. However, the bonus is we can probably have even more armour. Now, given this thing might fight at a longer range, it might be nice to have a little bit more deck armour. Deck armour is super expensive, though. So, yeah, there we go. A little bit more deck armour, a little bit more on the tower as well. There we go. Okay, so it's a little bit more armour than our heavy cruiser. It's a little bit slower, I think. However, carries a much bigger main armament. Cost more like 60 million. Okay, so I wasn't far off on that estimate. But at 60 million, I don't know, would this be worth it? I mean, that's 60 million. The heavy cruiser was 40. So it's as much as it's as heavy. So it's a heavy cruiser and a half in terms of cost. Interesting. Interesting. I need to see the campaign before I can make that kind of decision. Anyway, going up against an enemy battle cruiser, who hopefully does not have torpedoes, but might, which is why I have not kind of assumed that they won't. I've got to do the weight offsets again. Now, the last time I pressed leave battle, I'm going to hit rebuild ship. That's what you want to press, because I forgot to change the offset. So we've got a 4 weight offset, which means that we want to move this turret down a bit, which will also give this ship, hopefully, an excellent fire arc. Yeah, look at that. So that has a really good fire arc, that X turret. In terms of shipkeeping, is that the right word? Handling, ship handling. There we go. Pitch and roll, pretty low. It should be a pretty well handling ship. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. At least I remember. At least I didn't press the wrong button this time. Also means that this ship can have a very aggressive attack angle. Turning circle is 609 meters, so it's not as maneuverable as the heavy cruiser was. I kind of expect it's a bigger ship. Topping out scales at 33,000 tons, which, yeah. So heavy cruiser was 20,000. This is 33. So yeah. Another extra half heavy cruiser on top, basically. Let's go and have a look at the enemy. Ooh, interesting. 8 barrels of probably quite large caliber. A bunch of secondary guns. This is more a traditional battle cruiser rather than a large cruiser. Try and catch up to. It's at 30 knots. Does make this ship far more of a large, heavy cruiser than a battle cruiser as well, in my opinion. But 30 knots is going to be the minimum speed for all the ships in my fleet, and that's why I wanted to go with a large cruiser rather than a traditional battle cruiser, because my battleships are going to be capable of 30 knots. So what is a battle cruiser bringing to the table exactly? If it has battleship grade weapons and the same speed as a battleship, but isn't as good as a battleship. So that's why I prefer the large cruiser style, because with 12-inch guns, this has a place alongside fast battleships, because it can hunt down enemy heavy and light cruisers with near impunity, and it offers something other than battleship grade weapons, which I want on my battleships. I don't need another ship carrying the same type of weapon. This is a different tool, as far as I'm concerned. But we shall see once the campaign comes out whether my nonsense makes any sense. There we go. We got a first hit. You know what? I'm going to put this on to save for now. After what happened last time, we did start to run out of shells because we were so eager in the initial stages. Wait until we've identified the enemy. There we go. So we have the Kita Hotaka, a 45,000 ton, $92 million battlecruiser. So this is very expensive compared to our mere 58 million. That is very expensive. Maximum bulkheads, that's unusual. Not that fast compared to us. Interesting. Standard TNT 16-inch shell. So this is the battle cruiser type, and this is a large cruiser battle cruiser type. Fascinating. We shall see who will come out on top as we close in. 9%. That's not terrible. You may open fire. What's their secondary like? Now they got a much heavier secondary battery as well. 8 and 6. What? Oh right, okay, it's the center line. And some. Whoa, that's a lot of secondary guns. So basically, this is a battleship's weapons, a heavy cruiser's weapons, several light cruisers worth of weapons, and an entire flotilla of destroyers' weapons. Interesting. Did get a hit there. Mid-belt pen. Another stern belt pen. So we're going to be able to punch through their armour pretty effectively at this range. 9 kilometres out. They have a 9-inch belt, so 18-inch effective. It might be as high as 20. Let's call it 20-inch belt effective. So yeah, we can go through their armour. We took a hit there from a 16-inch gun, by the way, through our extended belt, which did 98 damage and set of fire. Right here, right on the front of the ship. But yeah, you can see the shell impact it right there. But I think we survived that pretty well, to be honest. You know, 16-inch gun, and you kind of going meh. 16-inch gun hit, don't care. That is a tough ship, and that's what I like. In return, though, a nice hit. In fact, a pair of them. One on their main gun, and one on their stern belt extended. Oh dear. I was wondering if that might happen with a main gun hit, but there you go. Headshot. Okay, well, that's definitely a successful test of that ship. I enjoyed that one. And I hope to see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye-bye.